Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Beluga series. And today I'm going to talk about weight blindness because I definitely think that's a thing. So, do you have weight blindness? Because if so, I want to talk about some of the tools that you can use to kind of measure yourself to make sure that you're not shaped like a blueberry within the next 90 days. But the number one thing that helps me to realize if I am gaining weight is I'm a size large. If you are a size large, you are overweight. You're most likely overweight. I've never heard of anybody being a size large and they are not large. So the sizes on the clothes don't lie. Oh, well, this brand runs small. Oh, well, I just got to get XYZ type of brand. They run true to size. No, I shouldn't have to shop at 50 different brands so I can finally fit into a size medium. Do you hear how mentally ill that sounds? So instead of going to the gym, instead of actually putting down the cupcakes, I'd rather go shopping at 500 different stores so I can prove to random people on the internet that I'm actually a size medium. I'd rather go spend $500 at Nordstrom's and try on every brand there so that I can prove to myself that no, I'm not a large, I'm actually a size medium. If you are a size large, it's because you eat large portions. If you're a size medium, you eat medium portions. If you're a size small, you eat small portions. So one of the ways that I prevent weight blindness is I actually pay attention to the sizes on my clothing. When I was a beluga, you know what I used to do? Cut off the tags. Try to cut off the tags because I didn't want to face the truth that I was a size large. Just because I buy a size 1X and I cut off the inside tag that says 1X, that doesn't make me any skinnier. It's literally easier to just go in a calorie deficit than to try to cut off all the tags on my clothes. Like some of these women, they're out here, they're trying to cut off where it says size 10. You know, they don't want their boyfriend to see. Their boyfriend's coming over or they're at his house. So they make sure to cut off the tags in their clothes because they don't want him to see that she's a size 2X. They don't want him to see that she's a size large, as if this man doesn't have eyes. But all of that stuff, that's a form of lying to yourself. Like, oh, instead of me actually changing something about my habits, I'm just going to cut off the tags or I'm going to blame it on the washer and dryer. Do you know how many women do that with the beluga mindset? Oh, well, no, it shrunk in the washer and dryer. It's like, sis, you're telling me that every single one of your pieces of clothing has shrunk? That shirt has never shrunk in the washer before. So why are you suddenly saying that it shrunk now? Like, no, if I can't zip it up, it's too small. If I can't put it on, it's too tight. So if it's a size small and I can't fit it or I'm bulging out of it, that's another thing. They'll try to squeeze into something 4 sizes too small. They'll be like, see, I still zipped it up. It's like, sis, you literally look like you're about to have an asthma attack right now because you can barely breathe. So just because you were able to zip it up, that does not mean that it fits properly. You literally look like a can of biscuits right now. You're stuffing up all that fat in this tiny ass corset so you can try to convince yourself, oh, I'm still the same size as before. And women do all of this all because they're too scared to get on the scale. Because the scale will humble people. The scale humbles your ass. Like when I was at my chunkiest, I didn't have a scale. You know why? Because I was scared of it. I was terrified of the scale. I didn't want to have a scale because then the scale, that's too much accountability right there. So I can't have a scale. No, I'll just not have a scale and I'll just cut all the tags out of my clothes, even though I know damn well it says it's a size 1X. So I'll just cut out all the tags or I'll try to squeeze into some leggings that are too tight and then it'll rip at the butt crack because my butt is literally bursting out of these leggings. Like I've literally, oh my God, I'm such a troll. But it's like some women are literally out here. They're trying so hard to prove that they're not a size 1X, that they'll be squeezing into size medium leggings. They'll be walking around burning a hole through their jeans, burning a hole through the leggings. Thighs rubbing together. They can start a fire with their inner thighs. There's a giant hole in between their legs because their fat is literally so powerful that it's ripping the fabric of the leggings. Yet you expect me to believe that those pants are not too tight? Oh, it's just the material. It's just the washer and dryer. Okay, so the entire laundry industry is fucked up. The entire clothing industry is fucked up. It has nothing to do with you overeating pancakes last night. It has nothing to do with you going and getting chicken and waffles at 2 a.m. It has nothing to do with that. Oh no, all those Doritos that you just ate last week, it has nothing to do with that. But that's a form of weight blindness, lying to yourself, trying to cut tags off of the clothes or trying to like hide it from your significant other because you don't want them to see what size you are. Or another thing I've seen is women will literally, okay, we'll be taking a group photo and sometimes women will try to be like, oh, I'm going to stand behind everybody else. It's like, okay, sis, if you're trying to block your body in photos, if you're trying to stand behind all of the skinny people so that we can only see you from the neck up, it's time to go to the gym, sis. It's time to go to the gym. It's time to cut all of those extra chicken wings you've been eating because clearly there's a problem. If I have to go through all this drama, I can't even take a full body photo. Okay, that's a sign that I subconsciously think I'm too big then. I'm not satisfied with my body then because I don't want anything on record of my body being fat. Okay, so if I have an insecurity, if I have a body insecurity, that's a sign that there's something I need to change. Because why am I trying to stand behind a chair or I'm trying to hide behind my friends and family in the photo? I'm trying to stand in the back. I can only take a photo from the right side. I have to try to suck in my gut. I'm over here trying to crop pictures out so you can't see the lower stomach and the thighs and all the sweat stains. That's a sign that you're practicing weight blindness. So it's like you're trying to lie to yourself. You're trying to hide photos from yourself. Have you ever been in a phase where you don't even want to take pictures just to keep in your phone? Like pictures that you're not going to post. You don't even want to take full body pics just to keep as reference. Why not? Well, it's because you're fat. It's because you are not satisfied with your body. You think your body is big, so you don't like having any reminders of your actual size. But that's how you become bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was telling the girls in the Patreon, like, how much more fat do you have to gain before you finally wake up? So you're already at a 1X lying to yourself and saying, oh, well, so-and-so, she's a size 3X, so I'm not that bad. So it's like women are already out here lying to themselves. They're already trying to cut the tags out of their clothes. Or they will try to shop at brands where the brand doesn't have size small, medium, and large. So like they name the sizes a different thing, like unicorn, starfish. And it's like, sis, that's not changing anything. Calling it a size unicorn instead of a size... Oh my God. Calling it a size unicorn instead of a size 3X, that's not going to make me lose weight. Like, oh my God, I should not be laughing at this. But it's like, people are doing all this crap and they're trying to say it's being body positive. If I have to hide my body in every photo, that's not positive. If I'm trying to wear oversized clothing so I can hide my stomach because I'm shaped like a school bus, okay, that's not positivity. That's not body positivity. If I don't feel positive in the body that I'm in, then it is not body positivity. So I think that a part of weight blindness, that comes from women lying to themselves. And another way too that you can track your weight, if I turn to the side and you can't see my neck, I definitely need to get in the gym. Like if there's no separation between my chin and my neck, it's just like one big flap of fat. It's like one big flap of skin. Okay, yeah, I have a problem. So I think that some women, they'll be like, oh, the mirror is lying to you. No, the mirror is not lying. Your eyes are not lying. The size that it says on your jeans is not lying. Oh, well, this whole company, everything that they have runs small. If everything truly ran that small, if a size large was really a size small, that company would be out of business. They would be out of business. They would be recalling their clothing. They would have to take it back to the factories because the sizing is so inaccurate. So why is it that all of the other hundreds of thousands of people that shop at this store, they have no problem fitting into a size medium? Why is it that all those people can fit in a size medium, but suddenly you, who claims to be a size medium, you can't fit? So now it's the entire clothing industry's fault. It's not your fault for eating 5 chicken wings last night. And part of this episode was triggering because recently I went to this event where we were donating clothes, and so I had some size larges to donate. And then one of the girls there, I guess she claimed to be a size large. She was not a size, she was like probably at least a 1X or like 2X. But she was like, oh, these are not actually a size large. These are actually a size small. And I was like, oh no, it says size large on there. And she was like, no, it's a size small because this brand, everything is so tiny. Like, look at this. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a coping mechanism. So I didn't say anything to her, but I was thinking she's trying to cope with the fact that a size large is smaller than her. So it's almost this talking point of, if it's smaller than me, it can't be a size large because, I'm a size medium. So they want everyone else around them to pretend that they're size medium. They want everyone else around them to pretend that they're size small. They want to make it look like the entire $1 billion fashion industry, that all of their sizes are so inaccurate. And it's like, sis, I used to be a size large, and that was my size when I was a size large. So you telling me that my size large is actually a size small? No, that means that you're probably a 2X then. You have to at least be like a 2X. But that is how weight blindness is born. It's because people will try to come up with all these insane talking points. For example, oh, everything just shrunk in the washer and dryer, or this entire brand, their sizing is so off. Like, I understand their sizing being a little bit off, or maybe the cut of the clothing is not the most flattering, but there's no such thing as, oh, it's a size large. Oh, but it's actually like a size 2, and that's their size large. No. The clothing companies are not that stupid to have their measurements being off that much. They would not make any money. Those companies would go out of business. So the size on the tag doesn't lie. The size on the tag is more accurate than you. A size on a tag, it has no emotions attached to that. It's just telling you, the company's just telling you the facts. Like, this is the dress size of someone who eats large portions, a size large. So if you're squeezing into a large or hanging out of a large, or you can't fit in a large, and it happens 12 and 15 times, some of these women will come up with 12 and 15 excuses. They'll be like, oh, well, actually, but I'm tall, so, that's why these shorts don't fit. I'm like, sis, I'm 5'9". I can fit size small shorts. So what do you mean? It has nothing to do with your length. It's about how big are your hips. Sis, if your hips are busting out of the sides, if you can't even put these on, if you're literally trying to squeeze into these shorts so bad to the point where you're about to get a yeast infection. So you're over here wearing yeast infection shorts, you're hanging out of the top like a muffin. And then you expect me to believe that there's something wrong with the shorts and that the entire company is just messed up with their sizing? No, you are lying to yourself. That's why you're trying to squeeze into these coochie cutters. You're trying to squeeze into these booty shorts. And then something else that I've heard women say, they'll be like, oh, well, I just don't like jeans because like jeans are uncomfortable. I just don't like this type of material. I don't like that type of material. It's like, sis, you don't like any thick materials because you're trying to squeeze into a top that's 5 sizes too small. So yeah, there's a reason why you keep on only wearing super stretchy fabrics. It's because it makes it easier for you to lie to yourself and say that you're a size medium when you're actually a size 2X. So it's like, no, that is how I know that I'm trying to convince myself to have weight blindness. Like when I was a beluga, that's the type of stuff that I used to say. I used to be like, oh, there's no way that I could actually be a size 1X. There's no way I could actually be a size large. There's no way that I don't fit this outfit. And it's like, yes, there is a way. The way is that you ate too much bread. You were overeating. You were eating the amount of calories. You were eating extra large portion sizes. That's why you have to get an extra large. And then I also hear some women saying, oh, well, as long as I don't have to shop in the plus size section, then like I'm good because I can still shop in the regular section. Okay, but sis, I don't want to be teetering on the edge of plus size. That's not what I want. That's not my dream body. So saying that at least I'm not as big as somebody obese, that's not a good life goal. It's like, is the bar really in hell like that? So instead of me going after my actual goal of having a flat stomach and being at a healthy weight, I would rather make the excuse that, oh, well, as long as I'm not shopping in the plus size section, as long as I'm just a size large, I'm okay. No, I'm technically not okay if I'm trying to hide in my photos. If I have to spend 45 minutes trying to edit my photo, or I'm trying to edit my face to try to make my cheeks smaller, to try to make my chin smaller. I see people putting on these crazy ass filters, these alien filters, so you can try to hide your triple and quadruple chin. It's like, no, that means that I should probably just stop eating so much. It's easier to just eat a salad. Another coping mechanism that a lot of people do when they are trying to train themselves to have weight blindness is they only look at themselves from the front angle, or they only look at themselves from the neck up. Like I've heard of some women saying things like, oh, I don't want to have mirrors in my house because it's too triggering to look in the mirror. So I'm going to take down all my mirrors and, that's my way of having like a spiritual awakening. No, you want to take away the accountability. That's what that is. You don't want to look in the mirror because you don't want to admit to yourself that you're big. So it's like you're going through all of this drama. You're literally turning your apartment into a construction site. You're trying to get rid of every mirror. You're unscrewing everything from the wall. You're taking down the command strips. You're doing all this crap trying to put your mirrors in storage, all because you don't want to look at yourself. If it's that triggering to where I have to get rid of all of my mirrors, I've got a serious problem at that point. It's like I'm doing all this just so I can keep eating. I'm getting rid of every mirror in my apartment and I'm lying and pretending like I'm trying to be spiritual. I'm doing all this just so I can keep eating those chicken wings at 2 a.m. I'm doing all of this. Oh, and that's another thing that a lot of people do. They lie about how much food they eat. They'll tell other people, "Oh, I haven't eaten all day." It's like, "Okay, Big Shirley, I didn't ask you if you ate all day." Like, why? Who are you trying to convince? Me or yourself? Like, why is it always the biggest person in the room that wants to convince everyone how little they eat? And then they'll be like, "Oh, I gained 30 pounds. All I had was a Snickers bar." You know that's a lie. So you're telling me you gained 30 pounds off of one candy bar. That's a lie. So people who have weight blindness, it comes from them gaslighting themselves. It comes from them lying to themselves. And then sometimes they will try to lie to other people. Like, "Oh, I eat healthy. It's just my hormones. It's just PCOS." So they start claiming all these invisible illnesses. Like, "Oh, it's just PCOS." You have not been diagnosed by anybody. Who is your primary care physician? Do you even have health insurance? You do not have PCOS. You do not have a hormonal imbalance. You have a sugar addiction. You're addicted to carbs. You're addicted to flour. You're addicted to trying to hold everybody else accountable. You want to hold the fashion industry accountable. You want to hold H&M accountable. You want to say that Nordstrom is fat phobic and that their sizing is off. So it's like, okay, you got all this smoke for all these random companies, but you have no smoke when it comes to your own diet. If you are a size large, it's because you eat large portions. If you're size extra large, it's because you eat extra large portions. Remember the size of your stomach. The size of your stomach is only about the size of your fist, I think. So it's like imagine how much food you have to stuff yourself with in order to even get to a size extra large. Once I started to realize stuff like that, that's what woke me up. What woke me up is when I looked in the mirror and I had a hand mirror like in my hand and I was standing in front of the bathroom mirror and I looked at the back of my body and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I had no idea that this is what the back of my body looks like." Well, yeah, that's because that's a weight blindness type of mindset. You're too scared to look at yourself from the back angle. You're too scared to go in the bathroom in your underwear and, look at yourself from like a 360-degree angle or a 180-degree angle. You're too scared of that because you don't want to face those rolls. So you have no problem eating all the rolls at the dinner table. You eat every piece of bread in the bread basket. But then when it comes to looking at the rolls on your body, suddenly you want to take down all the mirrors. You want to put a curtain over the mirrors. You want to unscrew them from the wall. Or you want to use hair and makeup and fashion as a coping mechanism. Like, "Oh, I never noticed my weight because I was so focused on slaying my wigs. I was so focused on doing my eyeliner. I was so focused on getting new clothes." And it's like, okay, so do you see the mismatch in priorities? So it's not important for me to be healthy. Oh, no. What's most important is for me to have a 180 density 1B lace front. So never mind the fact that I spend $500 on takeout per month and I probably have no savings. And now I'm lying and telling people I have PCOS when I can't even afford to go to the doctors because I spent all my money at Pizza Hut. And then when I do finally get my paycheck, instead of going to the doctor, instead of getting my BMI checked and like figuring out how to meal prep, oh no, I'd rather spend $300 on a brand new lace front. I'd rather go to that Sephora sale so I can try to contour the fat away on my cheeks so that at least from the front angle I look skinny. Of course I can't turn to the side. I can't do a 3/4 angle shot, but I can look skinnier from the front angle. That's the mindset of a person that is struggling with weight blindness or somebody who gets extremely offended when other people start talking about weight. They get extremely offended like, "Oh, how dare you bring up the issue of weight? That's a very sensitive subject." Well, why is it a sensitive subject? I thought you were at a healthy weight, Sarah. I thought you were just a size medium. Oh, you mean to tell me that you also noticed the fact that you were burning holes through your leggings every week? Okay, so you actually noticed that you were hanging out at the sides of those leggings. Okay, so when you put on those coochie cutters, you could feel it slicing through your body. But you try to pretend like, oh no, these fit perfectly. I just don't like the material. Well, why don't you like the material? Well, it's because you're wearing the wrong size. The material is not going to burn your thighs and get holes in it if it's the proper size. You're not going to feel like you're suffocating, or like when you put that bra on, now you have 4 boobs instead of 2. It's not going to feel like that if it's the correct size. So that's the mindset of a person that has weight blindness. They're using every excuse in the book. It's always somebody else's fault. It's the clothing store's fault. It's the washer and dryer. It's the material of the clothing. Oh, it's the lighting. Oh, this lighting makes my stomach look extra big. Are you serious? So you're telling me that light particles added 70 pounds onto your stomach? And another thing too is like a lot of people who they're scared to weigh themselves and stuff. It's like they don't want to have any true measurements. They don't want any accurate measurements. They always want to do something where they can invalidate it. Like, oh, this clothing store is messed up. They never want to get on the scale. A lot of them, they don't want to use the step counter because then they will feel exposed. Like once I got the step counter app on my phone, I remember the first time I ever downloaded it, I realized how few steps I was actually taking per day. I was taking like 2,000 steps. I mean, I could have sworn I was getting a good 10 to 12,000. But no, I was getting 2,000 steps. So people who have this weight blindness, what it actually is, it's a lack of accountability. So that's why they don't want to download the step counter app. They don't want to put on the Apple Watch. They don't want to track how much they eat. And then they'll try to use the excuse, oh, that's doing too much. No, sis, covering all of your mirrors, that's doing too much. Refusing to look at yourself from the side angle and hiding in photos, and you don't even want to take pictures with your family members, that's doing too much. Not being able to take a picture from the left side, you got a good side, you got a bad side, you're trying to suck in your stomach, you're trying to hunch your back over so that your boobs look smaller, you're trying to stand behind everyone. I'm like, what? You're over here creating an entire strategy on how to hide your body, yet you think it's extreme to just count your calories or to simply eat vegetables. And that's another thing too. A lot of people who are big and they're like binging and they'll say, oh, I eat healthy. Okay, well, you don't eat that much healthy foods because I've never heard of someone becoming obese from vegetables. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of anyone saying, oh my God, I had too much broccoli, so now I'm 500 pounds because of broccoli. No, you know that the reason that you're overweight is because you're probably eating processed foods. You're probably eating like flour and sugar and stuff like that, like the carbs, like unhealthy processed carbs. So it's interesting how they have all these random rules like, oh, that's doing too much, but it's not doing too much when you're eating chemicals every single day. They're literally over here eating poisonous food every single day. And then whenever someone takes out their iPhone camera, they run for the hills. That's the only time you'll see them running is when someone takes out the camera. Then they suddenly know how to run. Suddenly they know how to sprint because they're sprinting out of the photo because they don't want to be captured. They don't want you to see their stomach. And then they try to blame it on the lighting like, oh no, the lighting makes my stomach look big. And it's like, Sarah, I've never seen you run that fast in your life. So it's like they're over here running from the camera when they could be running on the treadmill. They could be taking a walk at the park, but no, they'd rather blame society and the fashion industry. And that's the mindset of a person who has weight blindness. It's not that they can't see it, it's that they don't want to see it. Or they will make this excuse where it's like, oh, well, I'm smaller than my friends. I'm smaller than my mom. Sis, your mom is 75. Your mom is 50 years old. What do you mean? Why are you in your 20s comparing yourself to 50-year-olds and saying, oh, well, at least I'm not as big as her? And it's like, sis, she has 3 children. You look like you're pregnant with 3 children right now. And you're comparing yourself to somebody who has 3 children. Do you see what I mean? Like, that's a sign that you're getting fat. You're just practicing weight blindness. If people start asking you if you have kids when you've never had a child in your life, if people start asking you if you're pregnant, that's a sign that something needs to change. Like, if I look like I have 3 kids and I have 0 kids, that's a problem. And then I also feel like a lot of people who are big, they will throw out their skinny clothes. And so all they have is like big clothes. And then it's like, oh, well, I don't want to have to go shopping again. I'm just not going to lose weight. I'll just wait till the new year. I'll wait till I get my tax return. I'll wait until I get some more money. Then I can go shopping. And it's like, okay, so you're going to allow the system of capitalism to cause you to be obese? Do you see the external locus of control? And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. And also, I've noticed something else too. Some women, they'll be big and then they actually keep their skinny clothes because they want to convince themselves that they can still fit that outfit, but then they're too scared to try it on. Like, I remember when I was a beluga, I had this one dress. It was my favorite sundress. It was so pretty. And it was a size 4. And I kept it in my closet because I was like, oh, like I may be a little bit chunky right now, but like I'll be able to fit it in a few weeks. I remember once I finally got the courage to try it on, it would not fit. I couldn't zip it up. It could not go up past my hips. And it's like, okay, so if you have skinny clothes in your closet and you try on the skinny clothes and you can't fit them, then you're not skinny. And then some people will be like, oh, well, I'm on my period. You don't gain 20 pounds on your period, Sarah. That's not how much weight you're supposed to gain on your period. And then people will be like, oh, no, it's just muscle. That's another excuse. It's just muscle. Well, then why can't you bench more than you could last time then? Why is it that your weights, you're going down in numbers every single week? You're actually becoming weaker and weaker, yet you want to convince everyone that it's just muscle. Like, if I'm starting to jiggle everywhere, if I feel like I can't go to a formal event without wearing a girdle, if I have to start wearing, and also especially if I have to start layering girdles, because there are some women over here, they're putting on Spanx first, and then they're putting on a corset, then they're putting on a push-up bra, then they're wrapping it with saran wrap. It's like, okay, you're doing all this just so you can suck in your stomach. All of this because you still want to eat. That's the real reason why a lot of people will do all this drama. It's all because they don't want to stop eating. So they're doing all this so they can keep on eating fried chicken. They're doing all this so they can continue having those waffle fries. It's like, really? Is it that big of a deal just for me to have some extra McDonald's at the end of the week? Is that big of a deal just so I can eat a gallon of ice cream? I have to wrap my entire body up just to go outside? I have to hide behind everybody else in the photos? I have to run away from the camera now? And when it comes to using these measuring tools, like for me, I tend to track, I do try to track my steps or like just random stuff. My steps, my measurements, that's another thing. A lot of people who are big, you might tell them, oh, you can just get a tape measure. You can measure your hips and like your boobs and stuff. And then they don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to have a scale. You don't want to have a food or calorie tracker. You don't want to have a step counter. You don't want to look in the mirror. You don't want to use a certain pair of jeans that are not stretchy in order to measure your weight. Because that's another thing too. They'll be like, oh, well, I can still fit my jeans from last year. And it's like, okay, sis, you've stretched out those jeans. Those jeans are hanging on for dear life. If they're made of stretchy material, your body has stretched them out. Your cellulite stretched out those jeans so much to the point where you might pop the next time you put them on. You're probably going to pop the buttons off. That's another sign of weight blindness. If I'm putting on a shirt to go to work and I'm literally, the buttons have ripped off of my shirt because that's how heavy, like that button was hanging on for dear life, but my stomach was just jiggling out of control. My back was jiggling out of control. So I'm over here popping buttons off of my shirt and ripping holes in the armpits of my shirt. I'm over here ripping holes in blazers. I'm ripping a hole in my blazer. And then I have the audacity to say, oh, I'm not big. It's not me. It's the blazer. It's just a cheap material. It's like, okay, how many more materials do you have to destroy, sis? How many more of your outfits do you have to demolish? How many more sizes do you have to go up before you finally decide to make a change? So that's why I try to weigh myself. Well, I actually weigh myself every day because I would rather catch 5 pounds right now. I'd rather catch a pound or a couple of pounds rather than waiting until 6 months from now when I'm 25 pounds bigger or like my face looks hella fat in photos. If you're waiting, like if your entire face looks different, your entire stomach, your entire photos look different, you've waited too long. That's how I feel. I feel like I've already waited way too long if it takes an entire photo or if it takes somebody else commenting on my weight for me to finally wake up. That means I waited way too long. Because think about it. You don't become skinny overnight, but you also don't become fat overnight either. It took you 6 months. It took you a year to become that big. It took you 2 years to become that big. So it's like, no, I'm not going to neglect myself for that long. I'm not going to allow myself to go down that slippery slope. I'm not going to give up on myself. I would rather have tools in place to measure myself. And it doesn't mean that I have to like start spiraling. A lot of people who have issues with their weight, they have issues with spiraling. So they go into all these intrusive thoughts, or they start beating themselves up, or they start like getting mad at content like this. And it's like, okay, so that's an emotional issue. If you have emotional issues, you're more likely to be an emotional eater. So at some point, I just got tired of being a beluga, because it's like, how many more spirals do I have to have? How many more insecurities do I have to have? How many more pit stains do I have to have on my shirt? How many more times do my thighs have to rub together to the point where I'm getting rashes in the summer? How many more times do I have to lie to myself and pretend like I can fit something when I know that I can't? And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So I'd rather just keep myself on track by using the scale, by measuring out my portions. That's another thing. A lot of people who are big, they don't know about portion control. And so it's funny because the lack of portion control shows up in the outfits as well. So they'll be squeezing into these tight ass Daisy Dukes, and then they'll be like, oh, I can still fit. No, those shorts are created for a size medium. So a medium sized leg, a medium sized thigh, a medium sized ass. You can't tell me that you have a fat ass, but you're not fat. That doesn't even make sense. Oh, I have a fat ass, but I'm tiny though, and I'm small. I'm extra small. No. Do you see how a lot of people, they mislabel words? That contributes to weight blindness. It's like, okay, if you have a large butt, you are a size large then. And then if you say you have a large butt, but then you wear a size extra large, okay, you don't have a large butt. You have a size extra large butt. You have a 2X butt. You have a 3X butt. You have a 5X butt. So stop saying I have a large butt when in reality, no, I have a 5X butt. And by the way, you do know that 5X means extra, 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 extra large. So did you really want your butt to be that big, or did you just want to have a large butt? Or really a size medium butt? Or did you want to have a small butt? Because I'm pretty sure you did not want to have an extra, 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 extra large butt. No, you didn't. That's a lie. Oh, well, body positivity. Men like women with meat on their bones. Okay, so you're male centered now? So you're saying that you want to sacrifice your health. You want to risk diabetes because a man wants to clap your extra large cheeks. So is that the prize in life? Okay, so forget being healthy. So I'm willing to potentially have diseases so that I can brag about the fact that a random guy wants to sleep with me because I have a large butt. Oh, excuse me, an extra, 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 extra large butt. Do you see the gaslighting? And then for the people who say, oh, I eat healthy food, I eat quinoa, I'm eating protein pasta. Okay, well, you're eating too much of it. You are eating a large serving of protein pasta. That's why you're a size large. You're eating a size extra large quinoa. That's why you are a size XL. So you're clean bulking. So you're eating like a linebacker. That's why you're shaped that way. You're eating everything in the refrigerator. So that's why you're shaped like a refrigerator. Another thing that people do when they have weight blindness is they stop wearing clothes with buttons or zippers. Anything with a button, anything with a zipper, anything with straps or like heavy duty straps. No, they can't wear anything where it's like gonna pop off. So they've already ripped all the buttons off their jeans. They busted through the buttons of their shirts. The buttons on their blazers are broken. And then they try to switch it up and say, oh, well, I only like stretchy fabrics anyway. Well, why do you like stretchy fabrics? So you don't have the accountability? So you can get as big as you want with no consequence? Are you sure you want to do that to yourself? So do you see what I mean when I say they just don't care about themselves as much as they think they do? And it's like, no, it's not the fabric. It's not the buttons. It's the fact that your body, you're eating too much. That's what it is. You are eating too many calories in a day. You're literally piling more food on top of undigested food that is still in your stomach. And when it comes to the scale, like weighing myself every day, if I gain, like, let's say I gain 2 pounds or 5 pounds or something, if that weight stays on the scale for more than a week, that it's not water weight. That's not water weight. And one of my favorite excuses is, oh, the scale's broken. Like that's that's something I used to say. I'd be like, oh no, this scale must be broken. Something's wrong with this scale. It's like, sis, how many scales do you have to buy? You already bought like 5 scales. So you're telling me that all the scales are broken. Every single scale from Amazon is just broken. Are you that fat? If anything, that means you're like extremely big. So you're telling me all the scales are broken, the entire clothing section, all their sizes are wrong, your washer and dryer are messed up, and you randomly have PCOS even though you have not been diagnosed with that. So it's literally everything else except for the fact that you just ate too many chicken wings. It has nothing to do with the fact that you eat an entire pizza in one sitting. Oh, no, that's not the reason. It's because this scale must be broken. Why is it broken? Why are you shocked that you're 285 when you literally eat like a 285-pound person? And that's another thing, too. If I am eating the same portion sizes as a grown man, I'm eating too much. If my butt is bigger than a grown 45-year-old man, I'm eating too much. If my stomach is bigger than a grown man, my plate is more piled on than his, then I can't get mad when I start to weigh the same as a man. And that's another thing. If you're out here dating and you're insecure, like, oh, I'm going to weigh more than him. Okay, so then lose weight. Why is the solution always, oh, let me just find a man that's bigger and bigger and bigger? Okay, so then you wonder why you're only attracting men who are fat. Yeah, it's because you're also fat. So it's okay. It's okay to admit to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm big. Let me get on the scale. Let me see what it says. Let me try to get my calorie deficit going, and then let's see if this scale changes within the next week or so. And another thing too, if you have to start doubling up on clothing items because that's how big you are to where your own clothes can't even hold you in anymore. So it's like I gotta wear a tank top and then a t-shirt over it and then a big jacket over it. I've gotta wear 2, 3, 4, 5 sports bras, 2, 3, 4 pairs of Spanx. I have to wear all that just to hold it in, just to suck everything in. I have to wear 5 different layers of clothing. So now I'm basically a walking sauna because I have 2 pairs of leggings on, I got 2 bras on, I got 2 shirts on, I have an extra jacket on so you can't see the rolls on the back of my stomach. So it's like I'm going through all this, all because I did not want to stop eating. Do you see what I mean when I say people have like this slavery mindset? They're a slave to food. They're a slave to processed food, a slave to Cheetos. But once I started to actually look at myself and stopped hiding, I had to stop hiding from my own failures. That was how I got back on track from being chunky. I had to stop hiding from my own failures. I had to face the facts. And that's another thing too. A lot of people who are really big and they have weight blindness, they try to hide from themselves. Like, no, don't try to put a scarf over your neck so you can cover the double chin. Don't try to do that. No, stop. Look at the double chin. Because that's what I used to do. When I was chunky, if my chin was looking a little bit fat, my neck was looking a little bit big, I would try to put a scarf on it so like nobody sees it, because it's cold outside. I just look cozy. So I would put on a big giant baggy sweater because I'm just cozy and cute with my scarf on. No, you're trying to hide your body. You're trying to hide the rolls. You're trying to hide the mountain that's sitting on top of your stomach. And it's like I got tired of hiding. I got tired of lying to myself and having the identity of a skinny girl. I got tired of feeling skinny on the inside, but my outer body didn't match how I felt inside. So I decided, you know what? I feel like I'm a skinny bad bitch on the inside, so why don't I just go ahead and manifest that on the outside? But anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.